I have a scenario where 400 boys were asked to participate in a survey. 140 of them identified that soccer is their favorite sport, and I'm being asked to calculate what percentage that represents. So I can set this up on my screen as a proportion where 400 is my total and my part is 140 students. I know that a percentage is simply a number over 100, but I don't know what that number is, so I'm going to mark it with an X. I can solve that mathematically, but I would like to show you how to do this conceptually using the manipulative on the screen. At the top of my screen, I have a percent bar labeled from 0% to 100%. So 100% is my total possible students. And I have 400 students, so over to the left, I'm going to label it as 0, and my total in this case is 400. Now, to identify what 140 represents, I need to break apart my percent bar with a number that goes easily into both 100 and 400, using the manipulative that I have on the bottom. Now, the representation that best suits that is 20%, because 20 goes into both 100 and 400. So I'm going to drag it up until my percent bar is now full. So it took 5 sets of 20% to make up my 100%. I need to divide the 400 into 5 sets as well. So when I do that, and I divide 5 into 400, each one of those sets is now valued at 80. Now, if I look at 2 of those, I get 80 plus 80, and that is 160. And that is too many students because I only want 140. So I can't do that. But what I can do is take one of the 20% and split it in half. So I'm splitting it in half. And I need to repeat that up here. And when I split one of my 80s into 2 sets, I now have 40 as the value for each one of those subsets. So now when I look at that, if I look at 2 of those, I now have 120. So before I had too much, now I have too little. It seems like a little bit like the 3 bears, but I'm sure we can make it just right by repeating what we just did to the 10%. We're going to split that into half again. So splitting that into halves, doing the same thing up here. So when I split that into half, each one of those 40s now becomes 20. So this 40 is 2 sets of 20, so 20 and 20. Okay, now when I look at this, so let's see if we can get 140 using these 3 sections right here. So 80 plus 40 plus 20 does equal my 140 that I am looking for. Now, to correlate that with the bottom, looking at just these 3 sections, and my value in this case is 20 plus 10 plus 5, and that equals 35%. Now, when I solve it mathematically, I can compare it to my modeled representation, and I can be confident in my answer. My answer